I'm Benjamin Shao. I'm a faculty member in the Department of Information Systems in the W.B. Carey School of Business at Arizona State University.
I'm Bob St. Louis. I also teach in the W.B. Carey School. What we were trying to focus on was both how to structure the teams and how to interact with the teams, because we think those are two key requirements for success. That if the teams aren't structured appropriately, you're not going to be able to interact with them in the correct way. And if you don't interact with them in the correct way, you're not going to be able to leverage the talents of the people who are on the analytics teams. The first impulse when you're interacting with analytics teams is to ask them to give you data or ask them to give you information. And what we found out is that the best way to interact with them is to say, I've got a problem, can you help me solve this problem? And that, instead of having them give you information and you go back and forth with the information, that lets you really utilize their talents to try to improve the organizational performance.
Focus on exactly the problems at hand so that can deliver the solution and not just providing the data.
One thing we discovered that was, again, a little bit surprising is that in terms of structuring the teams, you had to have both a dedicated team and you had to have a centralized team. And the reason you had to have the dedicated team was it was impossible to really treat the data analytics team as partners if there wasn't somebody who truly understood what your problem was. That you needed somebody who understood your problem and understood analytics in order to allow you to effectively leverage the talents that are available within the central analytics teams.
The other important finding is that the procurement data analytics team should have a close and collaborative relationship with the IT department, because in terms of data storage, in terms of the program development, you have to rely on this IT talent.
Everyone's always talking about the shortage of talent being the real limitation, but virtually every CPO that we talked to said it wasn't really hard to find talented people. We think though one of the reasons for that might be with the hybrid structure, the people who are reporting directly to the procurement officers weren't highly technical people. They understood technology, but their real focus was on using the technology to improve operations. And there seemed to be less of a shortage in that regard. There was just so much to be done at the descriptive level that there just weren't enough resources. What they've been doing is focusing on those opportunities first and sort of delayed moving on to the predictive and the prescriptive opportunities. We found a number of people were apprehensive about interacting with highly technical people, thinking that in order to improve the operations, you had to get to be very analytical, when in fact you don't. That running smart business experiments really takes much more common sense than it takes tremendous analytical skills.
Indeed, it can be done. So actually the leader out there, all they have to do is just follow the steps that we lay out.